3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
All right, 5 o'clock on a Friday. Let's do this. Let's hit the books. Part of the Hammer Betting Network, sponsored by FanDuel, alongside the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Knish, producer extraordinaire, Zach Phillips. I am merely Brad Powers. Before we get to all your questions, concerns, comments, before we recap what happened in college football last night on a loaded Thursday card, before we get into all that and have even more best bets, let me remind everybody, in case you've been living under a rock or in case this is your first show that you're tuning in for the upcoming season, because college football does really get going here tomorrow on Saturday. We do officially have that new sponsor. It is FanDuel, like I mentioned at the top, and you can start your college football season off with a win on FanDuel, because right now new customers can kick off the season with $200 in bonus bets. Just place any $5 bet and you'll get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. You can use your bets on spreads, live bets, over-unders, so much more. I honestly, the FanDuel is the book, at least this offseason. I put most of my bets in just because they've been first to market, and they've had a variety of different bets, whether it's FCS, whether it's player props, whether it's individual awards, season win totals, game of the years. They've had it. All you got to do is just visit FanDuel.com/hitthebooks to download America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/hitthebooks, one word. You must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas in affiliation with the Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued at non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit ndgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 247 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE New York or text HOPE New York in New York. Knish, what's happening, man? How'd Thursday night go? Because, I just think it's funny. CLV doesn't matter until it does when you have freaking negative CLV.
Yeah, you know what? It was one of those. I will say at halftime, I thought Minnesota had taken over the game, and then they were going to row them through the mud. But not a great second half. I wasn't really impressed with either team. I saw Max Johnson now is out for the year. I don't know if that's a bad thing for Carolina because he was awful. Brosmer wasn't particularly, and their passing game wasn't particularly great. I knew once, so there were some rumors, right? The reason this got out is that Taylor and Daniel Jackson were early rumors that they both weren't going to play. Jackson ends up playing, plays all right. But it kind of looked like that same stale Minnesota offense that couldn't protect the passer, didn't get enough in the run game. And yeah, as you pointed out, I mean, that's the difference, right? If we were coming on there, and those are the ones that rub me the saltiest, is take a bad number and you pay for it. Because if you took the best numbers that were available, you either pushed or you won. And so that's that was obviously an annoying one. And the other fact was, I was waiting on BP if North Dakota State was going to win outright for a little, I was looking for that Twitter, but
I was quiet on Twitter last night.
Yeah, you were. And, we might have to get you a little extra cup of coffee here to keep it rolling. Your BP's been left out. He let it all out in week 0, but no,
I was watching games, honestly. That's what I was just. I was constantly flicking around and seeing what was happening, whether it's BG or Toledo or Buffalo or A bunch of, I watched a ton. Rutgers, who I didn't like. I think we're right about the quarterback situation there. Good team, bad quarterback play. I'll say this because people ask me Max Johnson to downgrade, maybe a point. I agree with you. I don't think it's that big at all. So I don't think that'd be a big deal. But I agree with your statement. I didn't like either team last night from what I saw from the big game. Colorado, I hate to say it, they are who we thought they were. Shadur's a really good quarterback. Travis Hunter might be the most talented player in the country. The rest of the team, no good. They cannot afford an injury to either one of those guys. And obviously, I'm not talking out for the season, but if any one of those two guys misses a game, Colorado's going to lose the game. It's that simple. And I'll just say this, that is, at least on paper, expected to be their weakest opponent this year. Right. I know North Dakota State's good, but I mean, they got to go on the road to Colorado State. I mean, they almost lost Colorado State at home last year. Colorado State hasn't hosted them in like 30 years. They'll be amped. Nebraska's going to be amped next week. It's every freaking week for Colorado, and I stand by my under win total bet.
So I'm gonna give it some love on this one. I knew you were coming in there. I will say, I think they have, when it's all one of the best passing attacks in America when it's right, when it looked like it did last night. And I mean, Shadur Sanders is going to be a first round pick. I mean, he really, like he was, if you watch his quarterback play versus a lot of the quarterback play we've seen through week 0 and last night, I mean, he makes some throws a lot. And I watched that guy year 1 at Jackson State. From that player to what he is now, I'll give him credit. That is a transformation, because he looked like a above average FCS quarterback to a guy that is kind of a lock top 5 or 10 pick now. And as you said, Travis Hunter, you know who's been texting me today about Travis Hunter?
Who cares if he had 500 yards in the game? If he loses the game, he'd been out of the Heisman Trophy, just like that.
I would say, I mean, they are an exception. As we said, like, it's a shame that they weren't able to, I mean, the defense was still bad. North Dakota State was running the same play. It's funny, if you were really intricate into the game, they're running like the same crossing pattern and the same play action over and over and over again, and it just kept working. The defense was bad. They're going to be a fun team as long as those guys are healthy. They'll be a fun team to watch. But yeah, there's a lot to be desired on the rest of the roster.
We got a lot more people watching. I don't know if they're following or fading, but 450 right now watching, which is almost double what we had last Friday. So people are pumped about the season, to say the least. Expounding on Colorado, I mean, what were they really that different than last year's team? Struggled the line of scrimmage. Maybe they got another athlete or two at wide receiver, but I didn't think North Dakota State played that smart of a game in some instances. What were they doing with that second quarterback coming in there? I'll give you an example. It was 24-20. Obviously, it was a bad luck on Colorado in the end zone, the interception. North Dakota State's moving the football down 24-20. They're at like midfield on a 2nd and 2. They bring in another quarterback, and the drive stalls.
And Cam Miller was playing great.
I know.
That's one of the best teams I've ever seen him play.
It just was silly. Colorado's not well coached either. Let's just be honest. I was hoping, I mean, Shadur taking that shot when they could have just taken a knee. That would have been fun. You want to talk about Twitter being something else, one of the all-time Twitter nights in the history. That would have been it had North Dakota State came back and won that game. With them. I mean, that would have been the crystal ball situation on steroids.
Yep. I agree with you, because that really would have lit up the I mean, because you're talking one of the most polarizing people in sports, Deion Sanders. I saw people in the chat. I saw what he said about the draft situation. So he's gone. I mean, that they're all gone. Like, Colorado football after this season is going to be back to like the pre-Deion era. It's going to be like a complete disaster next year. So I don't know if you're a Bucs fan.
Might be just as bad, if not worse, than what he inherited.
I agree. And so enjoy it. Enjoy this season. That's all I'll say. Because they're bad. They haven't recruited anything, and I think everybody is on the way out after this season.
Let's get to the chat. John Hudson, new member, so we appreciate that, John. And speaking of that, I got watched a lot. I might have double dipped even a little bit more. I can't believe you're not Bowling Green, baby. Oh, okay.
they're going to win the MAC. They're going to win the MAC.
I can't believe I didn't want to bring them
Turn
up.
on the camera. They're going to win the MAC. They might run the table in the MAC. That is the best team in the MAC.
I'm glad you're bringing. I didn't want to bring it up because people would be like, "Oh, you're a homer."
No,
you know me. I'm normally negative. They looked. Did they? I don't know who's their strength and conditioning coordinator. They looked good. I mean, just physically. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I bet
jumped on a future. There's still 6-1, 650 to 1 out there.
Yeah,
that is the best current future in the
team.
market. Conference future, could playoff him. That is the best team in the MAC. You can hear it right here. They're going to the MAC title game, and we'll be there on site doing a show with the 15 other Bowling Green fans that are in Powers family.
All right, I'll commit to that. I will
in.
commit to that. Yeah, I will. I don't disagree. Offense, defensive line look good. Hell, even they brought it. Have you seen that backup quarterback came in? And he can run. Yeah, good looking football team. That was a game I watched quite a bit of, and I was impressed. John, since he is a new member, he gets to the top of the food chain, which is important. In the comments, week 0 and yesterday makes the ACC look terrible. Have opinions or positions changed about Miami, Clemson, or other ACC games tonight or tomorrow? Yeah, it's not like a bowl game situation where you have a bunch of data, you think teams are good, and then they go out and play other conference teams, and it's not reflective. So I need more data, and just because NC State looked terrible, and Florida State that doesn't look good, some of the other teams at the top, Wake was struggling a little bit there for a little bit. That doesn't, as of right now, it doesn't have anything to do with Miami or Clemson, in my opinion.
No, I would agree. Yeah, I'm not going to overreact to short Sam. To be honest with you, I don't really think the ACC was. I mean, was there this perception the ACC was that good to begin with? I don't. I mean, I like to me.
I don't think there was a top 10 team.
Yeah, I don't. I agree. I kind of held that position, going in. So it's not one where I'm like, oh, the ACC's down. ACC's kind of been that. Maybe some of the elites now are a little less down, but yeah, I'm not too bullish. It really doesn't change my position on the conference at all.
Let's keep it rolling. Very stable degenerate in the chat. Do you think North Dakota State's cover against Colorado will drop the Oklahoma State, South Dakota State line to under 10? Do you have a play either way if it moves off of 10? I really don't. I guess lean Oklahoma State. Probably prefer under. Speaking of under, I mean, first half, I look like an idiot giving out first half under Colorado, North Dakota State last night. And then second half's just a total standstill. No tempo whatsoever. Figures. That's bold BP for you guys. Yeah, as far as the Oklahoma State game, I don't anticipate to be making a bet on it tomorrow, to be honest with you, unless like the total gets up over 55. That'd be my only buy price right now. Have you played it? You like the side? You like South Dakota State?
Yeah, I will say, just from knowing some people, I wouldn't be surprised. You'll see a better number on South Dakota State tomorrow, I think, if you want to play that side. So if you like Oklahoma State, I'd play the 9.5. If you want to wait and take some jacks, I think you'll see a better price tomorrow. So I played a little 10.5. It's not going to be a huge position. If it goes above 10.5 tomorrow, maybe I'll sprinkle a little bit, sprinkle a little bit more. But it's one of those games. I think it's lined pretty fairly. It might go up a little bit, but yeah, not one of the ones that I mean, that's another one that's been out there for a long time too. So won't have a strong position on either way.
Macro thought, stay in front of the screen. The moves on FCS games are wild. I mean, 2-3 points back and forth. I mean, it go up 2 points, down 2 points. I mean, it's you'll probably. If you want South Dakota State, you will get there's a good chance I think you can get a 10.5. So just wait it out. 500 viewers, highest this season. How's that do? Forward progress hasn't started yet. It starts next week. I'll be anxious to see how we compare with that.
What their max viewership is. Huh.
Yeah. Zach, that is gonna be a big rivalry this season. I'm telling you. We're obviously the underdogs. We're college. They're pro. They get 3x the viewership, or
3x the viewership.
So we'll see if it correlates to the show viewership. I doubt it. They're coming here to see the man, and I don't mean me. Let's keep it rolling. Drunk driver H3 in the chat. Thoughts on Wake Forest defense yesterday? They were so lucky to almost sniff a cover. NCAA was moving the ball pretty easily. You know what? I haven't deep dived that game yet, so I know it was a little struggle early. I bet North Carolina A&T in the game, but have you gotten to the box score on that one? I haven't yet.
I would say, you know what? I know these aren't very liquid, but played a lot of Wake Forest second half in that one. I think it just was one. A&T came out, had a couple of drives. I don't think it's a great Wake Forest defense to begin with. Second half, they made a few adjustments and the offense got cooking. So it's kind of one of those. You saw it in, I think, a lot of scenarios in the game, unless it was, the Arkansas where one team's just so overmatched, where there were some slow starts by FBS teams yesterday, or not wanting to show anything, keeping it vanilla. Some guy, you're getting your suspensions or any of that out of the way if somebody was late, if you're playing a cupcake. So just one of those. I wouldn't read too much into it. Of one that I thought that again, that's not a great unit to begin with. So I wouldn't be downgrading Wake Forest a whole lot based on that performance.
Bad news, Barrister in the chat. Thoughts on Vandy VT over or VT team total over, especially if Vandy is really going to play fast. Vandy, I thought it's going to play slow, right?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to play. I think
I think it's the opposite. Play slow, lines catered, total it's catered. I bet Virginia Tech about 6 months ago in the game, and I haven't made another bet in the game.
Yeah, I bet some under before the move. I don't know. There's some this is one I don't really. And I liked obviously bet the side, so I like the side. There's some variance there because, as you said, it's a new offense. They're going to try some weird, a lot of shifting, a lot of that usually means slower pace. How it's going to work with Pavian doing that, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be very good. Gun to my head, I'd still take Vatek under 14, but I know with the total coming down, there was a little bit of buy-in on the side. I think Vandy sucks. I mean, I just don't believe in I know they're trying to change it up. I'm not a believer in the coaching staff, and I don't think they lost a couple of guys off anybody that was good on last year's roster. So when you're importing the New Mexico State, I like the New Mexico State players in CUSA. I don't like them in the SEC or in this game.
Yeah, there you go. Some team total 30.5. Yeah, nothing screams value there for me. Great, and I did, a lot of steam on the under. Makes sense. Couple of really sharp guys were on the under there. Grayson, Texas, Colorado State up to 33.5. Would you think Texas not going to show too much with Michigan on deck? Line keeps going up. Couple macro thoughts on that game specific. I mean, the worry would be Arch Manning comes in. You ain't going to put Arch Manning in there and have him, take knees and hand it off. I mean, they'll probably throw the ball a little bit there. Also, I'm seeing in the marketplace, let's just call a spade a spade. I'm seeing, the touts, the market influencers who had released stuff all summer, and it's been nothing but one-way action. We're seeing it on multiple stuff, a little bit of buyback on some of those releases. I don't care if it's Brad Powers, Right Angle Sports. We're seeing it across the board, a little bit of buyback on some of the lines that have moved 4 or 5 points. You concur with that, or are you going to push back?
I agree with. There's definitely. You're seeing as a lot of the global syndicates, usually, you saw the movement today, when limits really go up, that's when you start seeing the influences that are not on Twitter, your major syndicates across the world that are, betting, a couple 100,000, trying to get 7 figures position on games. Usually see that, as you've seen, it's coming down on Friday, Saturday. So that's
when are we going to be that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, as soon as Phillips and Pizzola start, funding some, getting us up there. But yeah, that's why you didn't see nothing for a few months, and now you're seeing the screen move all over the place. But I think it was one people were looking for a 31-ish on Texas. It got close, it didn't get there. It steams back up. And I tell you, Zach, a passing prop in that one. This was franchise approved. Was Fowler Nicolosi over 206.5. Thoughts is that they're gonna. I think Colorado State. It's just a volume play. That he's gonna throw this ball 40, 50 times.
I like it. That Texas secondary sucks too. That's a good bet.
Texas secondary, the weak
Let's
spot.
Bet that one. I like.
And they're just gonna. They're gonna throw the ball. It's like an offense that they're going to drop back and throw this 50 or 60 times. So it might take him that much to get there, depending on how, they're throwing in that. So Yeah, that's an over passing yardage. That number's right around, I think it played it right around 200. So, yeah, that's playable at the 206.5.
Love it. Best bet. Fowler, Nicolosi, Colorado State over passing yards over 206.5. Love it. I concur.
I don't have a side. I didn't answer his question.
Yeah,
I don't have a side
I
on
don't
that
either.
one.
I missed the boat on the Colorado State early. I didn't bet it like an idiot.
I agree.
That'd be what I'd look. What I mean, if a 35.5 pop back up, I would bet Colorado State.
Yeah,
But unless if that doesn't show, no bet their side for me. Grayson also in the chat. Kentucky also down 26.5. Any injuries to know? They've been a little bit banged up in camp. Running back banged up there. I don't know. Just was steamed up from 24 to 28. You're probably getting a little bit of buyback. I'd say generally speaking, I'm tired of looking at this board, man. I want week 2 to be here already. I'm tired of looking at the same game, same line, same screen. That's just where I'm at. I'm just bitching.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It feels like, especially because you've been talking about a lot of the same matchups for, months now. But yeah, that's when I agree. It got to a key number. People hit the key number. And now it's shaped pretty good. So it's one of those.
I made it 27. No bet for me.
Yeah. Well, if you got Kentucky, and there were some early 24, I think out there, months, and that good bet. If you got some Southern Miss 28, maybe it's 28.5 juice, then good bet. So it probably closes right around where it's been shaped to now.
That's all it is, folks. Right there. It is numbers, not teams. David Deal in the chat. Nebraska, UTEP spread thoughts. Florida, Miami total thoughts. Did not bet the spread on Nebraska, UTEP. And again, I'm not afraid to make a bet. I think 100 the bets in now, counting FCS. Florida, Miami total. Man, I've heard cases on both for that one. Typically big matchups like this early, I want to go under, but heat, humidity, I think Miami will play with a little bit of tempo, in my opinion. I would if it was my game plan, because Florida, I think, is fat and out of shape on defense. What have you heard on the total on Miami?
Yeah, I agree. I think that I've had some thoughts both ways. I'll put it, if I saw 53.5, maybe a cheap 54, I think I'd pull the trigger on over. So I'll be monitoring that, see where it goes. I bet some Miami money line in this one. There was a minus 120, it's on 127 or something. That was good. There's 130s around. I don't know what's our friends at FanDuel trading right now, but
137.
Yeah, so I like Miami to win the game.
There you go.
But I know some again, there's been, and anytime it hits 3 or goes,
I'll go head to head. I'll take Florida to win the game.
Look at this guy. All right.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to, that's what I went, folks. Numbers matter. I waited him out on last week's show. He wouldn't give me the 2.5. And so now we're going the money line.
Yeah, money line.
Head to head, baby.
I prefer the 3, but I mean, I don't know if we're getting there. So yeah, give me Florida. I'll take Florida to win.
You can't.
There we go. That's good, right? Big game. You and I go head to head.
I like that. I'm excited.
Should that be our game that we do this week, or you want to do the Georgia Clemson game? For those of you that don't know, when we are doing a Saturday show halftime game,
yeah.
You want to do that game or what?
What game are we doing tomorrow? What time's
We haven't decided. It's up to us. You want to do the Florida Miami halftime?
Yeah, let's do the Florida Miami halftime. That'd be fun. Yeah, head to head.
We still got to preview the night games. We've seen already all the noon games already. Where the noon games, I mean, we Georgia Clemson will have a thought, but they, not many noon games. So I mean, that way we can get quick reactions off the games that are already done and the 3:30 games that are at halftime, and plus still have night games. So yeah, let's do it right now. We'll call it halftime. You and me head to head, Miami, Florida. That'll be good. Good promotion. Go. Hey, we're doing the job for the promotion. I mean, we could do it all here. I mean, all right. Keep it rolling in the chat. T Lynch, thoughts on what we see from Kennesaw State this year? It looks like this is why I love the show. Kennesaw State this year. Easy for me to say. Looks like UTSA should roll. They are bigger than your typical G5 O-line, D-line. I agree with that. Thought should dominate in the trenches. Grab minus 21 early, but still feel short. I can't disagree with anything you said there. The only hang up I would have is Kennesaw State redshirted a lot of guys last year. So they're not as bad as the team that went 0-6 against FCS teams a year ago, but 23.5 is a pretty big overlay with where I have it in my power ratings. Just saying.
Yeah, that I would still be. I know some guys that when it got to I think 25 or something, there was a little
They
interesting
took it
tennis.
back.
I'm not there. I don't think you know what I mean. Maybe I'm using one data point too strongly, but Sam Houston did that same thing and tried to redshirt some guys, and the next season, when they come up and they sucked, they were still like trash.
They were slow out of the gates.
And I don't think Kennesaw State. Yeah. It took some time. The second half of the season was moderately better. But I don't think this Kennesaw State team's any good, even with some of the guys that are coming there. So, I agree with you. I mean, that if I'm playing devil's advocate, it'd be maybe there's a few questions on UTSA, but I don't have any like positive bullish Kennesaw State takes at all. It would be if they don't cover, I think it'd be more of UTSA can't find a solution at the quarterback position or lost them off last year. But for me, I like we were on this game early, and I'd still be on it at where it's at currently.
Holt in the chat and longtime listener and viewer. We appreciate you, Holt. Any thoughts on FAU, Michigan State total? FAU down to 13, total still 45, lean under. Under. I bet under, different number. We have a best bet on FAU, plus 14 and a half, making sure you know that for tonight. I'm comfortable. I lean under, but I prefer the FAU side. So whatever we need to get to the window there.
That was my favorite. I honestly did not think all summer that, and I'm glad we were on. We did the show when it happened because usually it doesn't line up that magically, but we got a 14 and a half. That's probably my favorite play of the night. Is that I was hoping I didn't think it would get there all summer. It got there for a short period of time, and then got whacked back down. So I really like FAU at 14 and a hook, or even 14. So that was kind of the buy price I was looking for all summer. We got it, played it. I don't have much thought. I kind of agree with the under move. I know a Sparty guy I bet with thinks it's gone a little far now, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of optimism in either of these offenses, if I'm being honest.
Aiden Childs, I like. I don't like.
I do like Aiden Childs. I don't like what he has in front of him or around him, but
no, I like our bet there in case they're just talking about old bets. Hey, I mean, we posted this. This was a week ago, or was I think this was a Monday show we gave this out. And keep in mind, if you follow Hit the Books on BetStamp, you get these bets immediately. So, and I'll recap all the ones that we've given out at the end of the show, and we'll probably have some more best bets. T. Lynch. I know you don't want to spill the secret FCS sauce, but Louisville minus 37 with Austin P losing a lot. Link twice if Louisville rolls. Yeah, I mean, the market's already, you think, 37, it's already up. It's already up 10 points.
Yeah, so. Like it was, it's just, I think that's one that's took off to like, I couldn't play it.
To me, I let it go. It moved 5 points before I got involved. I just was watching. I'm like, nope. I was hoping for like a head fake type thing. Nope, not getting that. People are firing. There's no market manipulation. On game day, you see a little bit of it, more complicated. But as far as what they have up at FanDuel, people are just betting the right side, and away they go on these. I waited at least a half dozen of them, and they've all moved. So I'm just like, ugh. We'll see what happens. FCS was pretty good. It's just tough to give out because the line moves so quick. But
it's hard. I mean, it's really just hard to do it before like everything goes. So, and we're not on the air at that time. Even if we were, the stuff would be. It's it's an insane. So it's tough to do from a show standpoint.
Luke in the chat, why do college coaches still conservatively play for the field goal at the end of the game? I know we didn't drive this home on the Minnesota-North Carolina game, but oh my goodness. Also, thanks for Coastal. They were the significantly better team. That was a wild game. Turnovers, and that was a good win for Coastal. That was one for the win total. Remember, we got the over on that win total. And that was a big win.
Another one that the heavy game day money was just rolling in on Jacksonville State.
Wrong. Couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah, and they got buried. You got to be concerned about Jacksonville State after that. I mean, not to overreact.
The quarterback situation was terrible.
Yeah, that's bad. One of the Kanishki Mole said Smothers is not healthy. But they're
I like the Huff kid from Furman. He was good, but not good last night.
no, that was kind of I'm pretty shocking that they took that much money, and shocking kind of they got smacked that bad
On their home field.
Yeah.
Coastal's one of them teams. They had like 60 new players to the roster. Looks like they did a good job scouting. They had guys flying all over. They looked the part. I mean, that team's going to be live in Sunbelt. They play like that this year. Vasco looked good at quarterback too. They throwing up down the field. That they look like a well-oiled machine out of the gates. We're up to 560 viewers. This has to be a record. We are at record viewers here. Love it. Thanks for tuning in.
Absolutely.
Let's get some freaking wins though, and then we'll see what happens. Zach in the chat. Oh, we didn't answer. Why do they conservatively play for field goal at the end of the game? I don't know why. They're idiots. I mean, it's going to cost PJ Fleck his job. I mean,
yeah, it's just guys just stuck in their ways that have been doing their thing for and they've made it up the chain, doing it the way they've done it, and it's very, like. It's just human nature. It's kind of almost a thing. You go into that show and you think you haven't won. I don't know why, but it still happens. It happens less. I mean, there's definitely more, but college is one where you still got a lot of football guys, if you know what I'm saying. The NFL has almost kind of lapped college football in some of the innovation and the analytics part of it. It didn't used to be that way, but it was stupid. Then you get what you deserve with that, and you lose.
It's crazy because I didn't pick PJ Fleck wasn't Mr. Conservative at Western Michigan, but he is now. I mean, at Minnesota, my goodness. Zach in the chat, bringing the South Alabama spread up. Still think it's worth a fire under a touchdown. I'm more on the South Alabama side. I'll respect the money on North Texas. We did see a little money come in on South Alabama today. I'm more on that side of things.
Yeah, that was one I figured. I was kind of surprised it lasted the 4.5, 5 lasted so long out there.
Yeah.
So
now we're right back to where we were, and I bet the game a couple months.
It's fun, a lot of these movies. After months they kind of get back to where.
We're right back to where we started. Sometimes I'm just like, what am I doing? I mean, I just wake up on it's game week, it's Friday. Let's go. Oh my God. We'll see. Connor in the chat, looks like a bit of a battle on the Army Lehigh side. Where do you guys stand? Mountain Hawks plus 32. Probably lean more with on the take there, but nothing big. I don't have I made it 28.5, and people are gonna be like, well, that means you gotta be, big bet. No, I mean, there's obviously big spreads. I need a little bit more in week one. I need a little bit more variance. And I'll tell you, the favorites, FBS rolled FCS yesterday. 19-0 straight up, covered 13 of them.
Yeah. And I was just my guys, both the small positions on Lehigh and Duke. Very small, like
Duke.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, small position on Duke at like 22.5.
There's been a little bit of a battle on that one too.
Yeah. So that's been gone back. That one's gone back and forth too, but nothing. They're both like minor positions. And both sides. I had guys on both sides of the FCS game tonight too. The Colgate Maine.
Really?
Yeah.
I took Maine, but it's long gone. I wasn't wild about those FCS games tonight. Market's saying that with some battles. I'll tell you what was interesting last night. A lot of money came in on Sacramento State, a lot of money on Lafayette, a lot of money on Jackson State, fading 3 new coaches, and all were wrong.
The Jackson State guy was right here, unfortunately. So.
Oh, you were part of Jackson State?
Yeah.
That's one where I laid 6.5. It looked like an idiot laying 4.5, and I get all scared. Well, somebody must know something. And hell, it was just you.
No, and that honestly, I watched that game. First quarter, I was like, this is trouble. Like ULM was just handing it off and man balling them. I was like, oh no, this one.
Then it got pretty competitive.
Yeah, it wasn't like but.
Did you watch that on? I watched that on streaming. They never went to commercial. They just showed like a picture of the stadium,
just the field.
I always thought I looked up at the screen. I'm like, is that in a lightning delay now? Because the way they had that picture, I'm like, what the hell is going on? ULM looked competent.
Yeah, more.
I got to take a look.
Way more so than I don't. The quarterback position is a problem, but defense and the rest of like the offensive line and that running back they got was pounded. So yeah, they look. Well, I mean, the win total was 1.5, right?
That's what I mean when I say confident. I mean like
it's going over.
If you got over 1.5 wins, you're going to win that bet.
Yeah,
just saying. They'll probably win 3. I think if you bet over 2, I think you're going to win. I think they'll win 3 games. Yeah, they looked better than I expected.
Agreed.
Patrick in the chat. Hopefully you clip that up. As far as me, I was all worried about the bet, and it's just that's good for social media. Patrick, hey guys, hope last night went well for you. I hope tomorrow's even better for us. Happy Labor Day weekend. Do you guys know who or what pushed the Clemson line to 11.5? One of my sites' best lines seen. I think it was the injury news. I mean, George is in a bad spot at running back. Chance that they're going to start maybe walk on at running back. So that's some of that. Yeah. You concur?
Yeah, the Georgia running back room, wide receiver room's a little banged up. And yeah, this is one that during the summer, I was like, yeah, Georgia's going to crush this Clemson squad. Now, different situation. So I agree with the move now, sadly.
BP prop market got involved.
Yeah.
It's nothing I heard from franchise. They're going to throw the football. I watched them throw it 48 times in the spring game. They like their tight ends.
Especially with the running backs issue now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Carson Beck's going to throw. And I looked at last year, he topped 260 in 10 or 11 of the 12 games, or 10 or 11 of the 13 games. So I don't like Clemson secondary either. So I think they throw it around. Carson Beck over passing yards. That was released on the tout service. Connor in the chat, UNLV plus 3.5.
Oh, you better be ready to stand on business with this one, because all I heard all summer from you was UNLV, and now Joey K said, well, Houston, and now the 3.5s are back, folks.
So
pull it up.
Are you behind the Houston move?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll best bet UNLV plus 3.5. Are you against it though?
No, not especially not. I would at under 3. I was not there at 3.5.
Yeah, I mean the worry is I don't know about I thought they'd have more stability at quarterback, like they'd have an answer, and we won't have an answer probably until 5 minutes before kick. But I hate going against Willie Fritz. I just think UNLV. I watched with my own eyes in the spring game. They got a lot of Power 5 transfers. This is a talented team. I think their defense can be better this year. That was all offense last year as far as their improvements. This is the best UNLV team in 40 years, in my opinion. Not saying much, but I think they win outright, so I got to give out plus 3.5. Best bet UNLV plus 3.5. I bet it exactly at this number plus 3.5. So I got to put my money where my mouth is. Bert Brownie's in the chat. You fellows are bound for some positive regression on Kent State this season. Are you not? Kent State plus 24.
I bet one of my guys wanted Pitt 23, so I bet some 23. I don't love it personally. I guess gun to my head, that's probably the side I would take. But
yeah, I agree.
Penn State makes me actually want to put a gun to my head. So yeah, I don't I don't know, Bert. If I can, how much more I can stomach on them. I was hoping for a little bit richer number though to get involved on that side.
Yeah, I bet the over. Oh, Hammond out for Pittsburgh. I think a lot of people are making a big deal out of that. He's their leading rusher. He's ineligible for the season, just announced a couple hours ago. I don't think he was going to start. The Reed kid from Western Carolina is a more explosive player.
Yeah.
So don't be overreacting to that on that news on Pitt. Maybe at the end of the season when they needed another body, maybe. But right now for this individual game, shouldn't impact the point spread, at least as far as I'm concerned. Shawnee Sports in the chat. Coastal looked great last night. We agree. I think get consistent quarterback play from Vasco. Do you think the Chants have a chance to make a run the Sun Belt East? Yeah, we said that. Absolutely after what I saw last night. So you don't want to overreact, but that was solid. And it's not like they were playing a tomato can or playing someone way out of their depth as far, playing a major power team. That was a tightly game where you get a good idea on both teams. I wish we had 30 or 40 of those types of games in week 1. But yeah, that was a great performance there. Thoughts on the under in West Virginia, Penn, Miami, Florida, Notre Dame, A&M, Boise, Georgia Southern. We might as well go through the entire card, Johnny Bravo. I didn't play West Virginia, Penn State under. I did see a little bit of money on the under there. Miami, and Florida, we already discussed. Roll back about 10 minutes. A&M Notre Dame, I like the under. What do you know who's behind the over move on that today, though?
No, I do not.
It's 45.5. It got up to 47. I still like under. Boise, Georgia Southern. I've heard some people I respect like the under there.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be like the weather. I think it's going to be like 100 degrees in Georgia. So I think that was a little bit of forecast related.
But I thought heat's good for the over. Seriously.
Maybe
the chat. Oh, correct me if I'm wrong. No, I think heat's good for overs because the defense cramps up.
Okay.
You're thinking that it's hot, they won't play with tempo.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention the site. Okay. But their initials rhyme with fan. One of their systems has like between 85 and 100 degrees.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So, I think it's, I think it's over. So we'll see. Maybe I could be an idiot.
Me too.
Yeah. John Stuff, Colgate, Maine tonight. Can you bring that up, Zach? We'll see what the current line is on that one. I bet Maine, but I know the number's long gone. I know the over took a little bit of money too. It's a pretty good game to get an idea on an FCS power rating on these two teams. So 2.5. Nah, I made it 3. I made it 3 and 56. Pass.
Yeah, like I said, I had guys on under 3 want Maine, and then over it was like 3.
Did they manipulate it and get Colgate at 3.5, 4? Because I saw it pop there.
Yeah, popped that, but then it kind of there was the main buyers right under, so it was just kind of both sides of 3. You have different opinions on this one.
That's all it is. Dab 3 in the chat. Thoughts on Furman plus 42.5. They lost a lot, and Lane's the type of guy that's not afraid to run it up.
Not the coach you want to. He's a run it. He's a top 3 run it up coach that currently. So no, thank you.
No, was hoping we'll see that one where that flashes under 42 might be a pizza bet for me on Ole Miss actually because I think he'll run it up, and they got quarterback depth. The backups will go in there and they'll keep playing offense. Zach says we're up to 585. Might got a chance to break 600. We still got another 15, 20 minutes here. Oh, wow. Forget week 1. Spencer wants to talk week 2.
Years.
Yeah. Colorado, Nebraska under 56.5. Nebraska's line should control pace. I imagine their secondary can limit a huge place. Can they, though? I'm worried. I mean, I agree. Colorado's passing offense is legit. Cheers, guys. We finally made it.
I got to be honest with you, Spence. If I had to play it, I would look the other way. There was nothing in that Colorado team that made me want to play now maybe Nebraska is going to go absolute like slow tempo man ball with a freshman QB. And
North Dakota State played slow tempo and it was so efficient.
True. Yeah, I would need a bet. No, to be honest with you, I kind of lean over there.
I agree. That'll be a fun one to talk about next week. That'd be a fun game to watch too. That NBC's licking their chops. I can tell you that. That's a Saturday night NBC game next week. Alex in the chat, thoughts on Oklahoma first half spread? Yeah, we have barely talked a couple games tonight. I haven't bet the first half. I bet Oklahoma full game a couple months ago.
Yeah, we were.
I'll give you some inside info.
I'm hearing that a few months ago, and Stanford on the show a few months, and there was some 10s up there. Unfortunately, we weren't on the air, but it got there for a minute.
Yeah, a little bit longer, but
yeah,
maybe 15 minutes. Seriously, we said there'd be some buyback at 10. That's all it is. You're just seeing different orders being put at different prices right around key numbers. I could say this every week. I mean, it's just want to make sure we get a couple of the channel member questions before closing. Okay, I'm sorry. We will get again. Mickey Hill's a new member. I just want to get that in, and if they RW Fan 23, longtime guys, they're a new member. They'll get priority. So whenever you become a member, guys, you get priority as far as the questions. So I will try to get those read quickly here if I see them. I'm a little slow, Zach, with technology, so I apologize. Going back to the chat, Connor, yep, UNLV plus 3.5. We talked about that. Best bet. Idaho State plus 28.5 in an FCS game. Oregon State going to be significantly down from recent years. Yeah, I mean,
That was another one that's already moved a bunch.
yeah, it's been buried, folks, and don't blame me. I mean, it already moved 4 or 5 points. So I'm like, you know what? It's just going to move down. Might as well get in now. Brent in the chat, Iowa game under 40.5. How many times this season will we see an Iowa total in the 40s? Good call. I haven't bet that one yet. Have you?
No, I mean, I thought 40 was thin. But I know the new look Iowa offense. We'll see. I know that Caleb Brown's out, so he was kind of.
I bet the dog in the game.
Me too.
So there you go. Jeff in the chat. Played Nevada 15.5. Is it worth middling Troy at -8? I'm glad this game got brought up. Have you played back Troy? I want to. You haven't. All right.
I haven't yet. I mean, there's some places that are close. There's some 7.5s popping. So
you're waiting for 7?
Yeah. If it doesn't get there, it doesn't get there. But that's what I'm looking for. I tell you what I did play today was a Penn State 7 at -115. There was a So
you're a better man than me. I did not see that hit.
There's I'll DM you after the show.
Yeah, that's all right. No, that's all right. Hey, man, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, 7 is definitely the buy price there. We might see it. There's a lot of hype.
Yeah.
And boy, your buddy McAfee's building into that. They're having a good old time down there in Morgantown until about 3:00 in the afternoon tomorrow. James Franklin I bet West Virginia obviously 3 or 4 months ago, but at 7, that's a go for me. So good bet by you. Kevin Bitter in the chat. Do you guys know that tailgate tent? Weird that he never
comment of the day. Yeah, yeah, Kevin. Well, that's the first time hearing that. You might want to mute him on Twitter for Travis Hunter having Travis Hunter highlights all week. So yeah, he's going to be living off that one until he's by 58.
Let me get to some of these member questions. Mickey Hill, expect regression from Oklahoma State? No, I don't. I know you were down on them, but no.
I was way down on them last year, and they shoved it in my ass. So, yeah, I'm hoping this year's not as good.
RW fan in the chat. Let's go. Hit the books, baby. Looking forward to 10% CLV and a -1.2 ROI. I hear you. I mean, there's no comment. That's speaking facts there. Andy White, thoughts on Wyoming, Arizona State? Interesting game. I've seen both sides battle in the market there on around a key number. Went out, was it Raz or somebody like that? Gave out Arizona State, went out 7.5. 7.5's got bought back. We've seen back and forth on the total. I like the over because I do think Wyoming throws it a little bit more. I'm not saying that they're going to go 5 wide and air raid it, but with their running back a little bit issues there and a new coach, I think they'll throw it, and they like their quarterback. And I think Arizona State's offense is better, so I like the over. Did you do anything in that game?
No, I think I joined you. I just joined you on your plays in this one. So I to be honest with you, I think it's a pretty high variance game. A lot of different outcomes in this one that wouldn't surprise me. A lot of different changes on stuff for both teams, Arizona State. So yeah, I'd be at over 7. I would lean Wyoming there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised Wyoming won the game or Arizona State won by 3 touchdowns. That's for a low total game. I agree that there is some variance there with a new coach at Wyoming for the first time in a decade, and Arizona State could be really bad or they could be, much improved this year. I mean, I don't think we got a good data point on them last year. They were so banged up. RW fan 23 also in the chat. Georgia State plus 21. Yeah, is it still available? A lot of that got bought up. That was a pretty sharp move, I thought, throughout the week. There's 22.5, got bought up. And I think it even at some point crossed through 21, did it not?
Yeah, most places are sitting 20.5 now. I know our friends in Vegas have a 21. But yeah, I'm seeing mostly 20.5, FanDuel 20.5. So yeah, I mean, I agree with the move when to 21.5 or better. So that was out there for most of the week. Have a little in I didn't go crazy, but a little in pocket myself. I think it's the right side.
Yeah, I bet Georgia State. Dave in the chat, Purdue love tomorrow. I don't have Purdue love. Do you? Have you bet the game? They're playing an FCS team.
Yeah, no, Indiana. No, I actually, no, I don't think this. To be honest with you, I think this Purdue team's the worst team in the Big Ten. So,
and they're banged up.
Yeah,
and they got a bye on deck, and then Notre Dame. So I don't know how much they put into this game. I think everything's put into Notre Dame in a couple weeks. 591. We're getting there. 591 live viewership. Joe Boat in the chat. How heavy do we get on UCLA minus 13.5? Is there 13.5 spec available? I thought it was Wiley 14.
Yeah, it's pretty much all 14.
Yeah, 13.5 I'd be comfortable to say best bet, but I don't think we got it. Kevin in the chat. Yeah, 14.5 even at FanDuel.
Yeah.
I like UCLA. Tent likes UCLA. We talked about this on Monday. That was the one where we woke up and we're like, what the heck? You text him. I'm like, dude, I'm about ready to give that out because I just can't believe that line didn't move. Kevin in the chat, should I throw out the Cali McManus Heisman ticket? Yeah, that was bad last night. Monangai looked good. The O-line, D-line looked good, but that passing game.
Greg punched that last one in there for some people on the show and for some boosters and people that went to the game. So that was
the closing line, but if you got in early, you felt good.
Yeah,
that 44-7 felt a lot better than 37-7. I can tell you that. Sam in the chat, aren't books undervaluing teams to reach playoffs? Alabama, Notre Dame, no better odds in the summer, but when it all comes down to it, aren't some TV teams no brainer?
Because it is a TV show at the end of it, but
I'd rather our opinions been on this all summer. Let's bet teams throughout. They leave the market up during the season. Let's buy low off of losses.
Yeah.
I did come around and bet Alabama at plus money to make the playoff because I think there's a scenario that make it even at 9-3. Austin in the chat, do you guys still like Boise tomorrow? No, not that number. Ryan in the chat, silly New Mexico money coming in. Arizona minus 30.5 looking nice. Yeah, I didn't see who. I did see that. I saw the movement, but I didn't see who was responsible. Do you know on that one?
No, I didn't see on that one. And it's kind of trade. I mean, some places are back to 30.5 too. So it didn't really. It kind of got bought back pretty quickly. So I don't have a strong opinion on this game.
I don't either. I would lean Arizona. Mike in the chat, Jake Roberts, anytime touchdown. Lock it in, baby. Do you have any other? Oh, you know what? I didn't do a good job of teasing this. We have our first parlay sponsored by FanDuel. Your money line.
Underdog, money line, underdog with a caveat.
This just not beating around. Let's get right to that. And Mike's comment brought up, do you have any other player props?
Hold on. I got one from the touchdown prop from the man, the myth, I think our friend Bud Elliott. That just came across my phone while we were doing the show. He likes, honestly, I gotta look this guy up and that's CJ Campbell, anytime TD, who I think transferred from Florida Atlantic over to so CJ Campbell was his anytime touchdown that he sent across there. So if you want to tail a Bud play that I'm stealing from CJ Campbell, TD's for FAU. Yeah, he transferred from Florida State to FAU. So anytime, is that anytime 340, Zach? It is anytime. I'm gonna actually
better jump on.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
if you're watching right now, wait 30 seconds to bet that. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
So, he liked anytime, and I haven't priced that up, but anytime CJ Campbell. He's the Knowles transfer that's now starting for FAU.
John in the chat, do you guys buy back Florida State? I think I saw minus 16.5 at one point. In fact, Florida State, there's a 14 that flashed at one book for about 10 minutes earlier this week. I didn't buy it back.
Really?
A 14, yeah.
I totally missed that. No, I didn't see that at all. No, I'm not looking to.
I didn't either. Somebody told me about it. I didn't see it either. That's why, I got to stay in front of the screen more. I got to get fatter and just instead of 14 hours, 16 hours, 18 hours.
I don't really plan to buy unless I see that number. I didn't plan to buy back.
Yeah. I think they'll end up. We'll talk at length on that game on Monday's show because it is a Monday night game. Dan in the chat, cross stream bet, better record. Our best bets, Hitman or Uncle K.
Can we include last year's record in the Hitman?
Yeah.
I got about a 30-game head start. If we go, let's start at 2023. So yeah, well, Danny, I know you track him, so I'll get in some negotiation with the forward progress people.
This is a good one to close it out before we get the recap of best bets plus your money line. Foley in the chat, can't believe we've gone this far without discussing the Massachusetts game.
This is the sharp tout head-to-head battle of the century.
Yeah, we got Tunes on one side. I'll hype it up like Michael Buffer's side. On one side, we have the Right Angle Sports, the biggest, most premier tout service in the country. They gave out Eastern Michigan, not only to their paid customers, I'm talking to everybody for free, Eastern Michigan +3. But prior to that move, the reason why it got the +3 was a guy by the name of Tailgate 10, a couple guys behind the scenes, a guy by the name of Mr. Muscles, a.k.a. Joey Tunes. They gave out Massachusetts, and they gave it out Massachusetts at pick, at -1.5, at -2, at -2.5. So depending on what number you got, you could be part of Team Right Angle Sports, or you can be a part of Tailgate 10 and Mr. Muscles. Did I do okay?
Loser of this game has no subscribers left, man. If you bet, hope you're not giving refunds if you lose this one, because this is the. I can't wait to see that. I don't even have a strong opinion. I just can't wait to see.
I don't even have a strong. I can't believe I don't even have a strong opinion on the game. I was told it was going to go out to 3, so I put a little bit on Massachusetts at pick. But I mean, I made Massachusetts 1, so I mean, I'm just. I don't know. I will say the most, besides who's going to cash and have bragging rights, very tough for either team to go over their win total without a win in this game.
Yeah.
So it is an important game.
We haven't discussed this yet, and we haven't talked, but I DM'd you this earlier. Michigan starting quarterback tomorrow appears to be Davis Warren. Who when I talk, a few people I talked to today didn't know who that was. So
he's looked okay in spring games the last 2 years.
He's honestly been the great practice player, and he gets in his game, and so I think you'll see both play. There were some orgy props out there that took a nosedive after this started getting around, but I think both will play. But it looks like QB1's actually going to be Mr. Warren. So that is.
So that ticket that, you flew across the country. We got to see you live in flesh for the first time. And you put down that nice Heisman ticket on your buddy. So now you're saying it's toilet paper.
I was going to say, you might be getting a Christmas gift this year with a certain guy Heisman tickets in. So, we'll see. One of our loyal listeners of the show, Tailgate Sent, must have been chirping. There's only 50 listeners of this show. Mind you, there's 600. But one of the loyal 600 doing a little chirping.
Wouldn't have mattered if they lost the game. It wouldn't have mattered.
It would have been. Listen. Maybe there was some 50-1 out there after the first TD, and maybe we'll see. I have no comment on my Heisman futures portfolio at the moment.
Nebraska will take care of that next week. I agree. RW fans. Let's see what happens next week. And Colorado State and Baylor and all those other teams. Every week's going to be like that. So it's not going to last long. But everyone's been waiting for it. They've been asking about it for weeks. They want to know every Friday, like we've done for the last couple of years. We want to know your first parlay of the season.
We're doing underdog. I'll be honest with you. The show in the past, I know people have asked for this, and I couldn't. Our friend, the sports cheetah, was the OG of this, but he's off in England now. We didn't do a great job at him this season on the show. We're gonna have one every week, and we're going. Zach, you got the graphic baby for this, or do I got to run through it? Oh, baby.
Got it. Look at that.
Underdog, money line, round robin. Now, Miami, not technically an underdog. There wasn't another short dog I loved, so we're throwing him in there. but we're going the 4-pack. Give me, and the first one, we'll know after this game if we're setting up a UConn plus 860. Give me a little. USC was on. We've talked about all summer. I love BP on the UNLV as far as a short dog. I agree with that one now at the price. And sprinkle a little Miami in there. I know we're going head to head, but sprinkle a little the Joey K 4-leg underdog money line round robin. And I have bet that. Listen, this is not promotional, people. I've bet this with my own money. So favorite, if you're looking for a favorite leg, it would be the USC leg. If you like building your own in there.
We lost you, bud.
Got so excited to unplug my mic there. That you know what? It's I'm so hyped for the first underdog money line round robin. The mic went out the window. So yeah, no, I'm with you. That this I like the 4-pack. I like the underdogs. Money line round robin action. Week 1, I think, is the best for these. Week with our first couple of weeks, highest variance. I gave you even a couple that we'll call it. Miss the cut or slight cut or slight with the cut. North Texas would be another one. I think it's a high variance game. If you believe in Nevada, week 1, a little bit of uncertainty there would be another. It's one that I wouldn't bet on the side, but was in consideration for the underdog money line robin. And we had one more big FAU tonight was another one that I had consideration. Was only going to include FAU or UConn, one of the two. But hey, yeah, I know. Did it go back to the old shitty mic? Because I know the chat.
Yeah, I don't know what you did, man. You just blew everybody. If somebody's listening with their headphones, you just killed them.
You know it. So, hey, that's our first one of the season. Hopefully more to come.
Let's recap best bets. So that is, I just want to make it clear, that is Knish's money line round robin underdog with the Miami in there.
I'm back. I got the good mic back. So
yeah, you're back.
You can uncover your ears. I'm back.
Yeah. Let's recap best bets. So tonight, Florida Atlantic plus 14.5. Gave that on a Monday. On today's show, Braden Fowler, Nicolosi, over 206.5 passing yards, Colorado State quarterback against Texas. Syracuse, we gave this out on the MAC preview show, minus 15.5. Got some good CLV there. Northwestern, that was a move that hit today. Big move that I like to see. We laid 2.5. It's now 3.5. Key number, low total. Let's try to get to the window there. Another key number, UNLV. Let's fade the move today. We took plus 3.5 on the Rebels. That was on today's show. And then you mentioned it. We had USC plus 6.5 from a couple weeks ago. We got way ahead of that move. Maybe we originated it. I don't know. But that's it, man. I don't think we got, as you can see there, you can also always follow these along at the bet stamp. We got a bunch of game of the years that are probably still somewhat there. So yeah, hopefully let's have a winning Saturday, man. And let's get a win tonight to get the vibes going.
I was gonna say, yeah, get a win, need a dub. I really like that one tonight. So I got a big position on it myself. So listen, I'll be a little salty if we don't. But yeah, no, I love the play tonight. Like where we're at heading into the weekend. Heard that many times before though. So let's have a weekend. And
I hate the card.
I hate the portfolio.
Yeah.
Hate the portfolio. But excited for, and we'll see everyone tomorrow, baby. A little Miami Battle of Florida tomorrow, where we can talk to everybody.
So that is right. We won't have a full 1 hour show, but during the halftime and maybe a little bit longer, we will be talking Miami, Florida, second half, all the upcoming games as far as Saturday night. So make sure you're checking that out. Hit the books for the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Knish, producer extraordinaire Zach Phillips. Thanks to all the questions, comments you just watched. Hit the books, part of the Hammer Betting Network, sponsored by FanDuel.